So, Daniel Pratt is going to tell us a story about how the Earth's atmosphere proves the Earth is stationary, using, kindergarten science? Well, elementary, my dear Pratt. Oh, come on, that was an amazing joke. I even surprised myself. Well now, this is, awkward. Wait, is he gonna cry? Well, shit. Why though? Wait, he was gonna say something.
Okay, there's a reason when I have to break down the deception and obfuscation of reality by these globe proponents.
And what might that reason be, my dear Pratt? Whoa, back off there, buddy. Geez, he really doesn't like jokes, does he?
That I call it going back to kindergarten. There is a reason they start pounding the globe into our heads from cradle and have to continue to grave.
Well, could it be because it's the most current and up-to-date knowledge we have? He's gonna say it's all lies, isn't he?
There's a reason they start pounding that globe into your head before kindergarten.
Why am I getting this constant vibe he's gonna start tearing up anytime? What the hell is even going on?
So that's why I have to take you back there to get you back to your basic human instinct.
Alright.
In order to see through their lies and contortions.
Ha! Called it! I so nailed that. My word, he is a super serious fellow, isn't he?
To create a whirling, twirling fantasy world in your head.
Well, what about that unimaginative stationary pancake fantasy that's in your head?
I'm going to prove it to you once again with basic kindergarten level science.
Uh-huh.
Anyone that wants to can easily see.
Oh boy, he's really hyping it up, isn't he?
If you really need to after seeing this.
Hey man, you already had me at twirling fantasy world.
Proof that the Earth does not move.
Anytime now.
Then go ahead and do the experiment.
Anytime.
Yourself.
Yep, anytime now.
If you really need to prove reality to yourself that bad, feel free. I already know what happens when I walk towards a fan.
He runs away? Wait, you have fans? Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, you are boring me to death here, Pratt. Oh wait, you were gonna continue? Fine. Jeez, I can already hear the viewers dozing off from your silly poisoning of the well.
Bullshit.
Bullshit? Bullshit, huh? I do believe the official term is horseshit, but no. And can we please get to a point already?
Okay.
Finally.
I already know what happens when I walk towards a fan. Apparently, anybody that lives on a globe doesn't.
Well, what if you live on a globe? Also, we're back at poisoning the well again. Slowly.
So let's go back to kindergarten, children.
Well, aren't you the condescending prick?
Here we have a fan representing the moving atmosphere of Earth going along with the rotation and orbit and hurling Milky Way motion of the Earth, okay? 3 different motions.
Well, technically, your stationary fan can only roughly simulate the atmosphere moving with the rotation of the Earth.
So, this fan, we're going to say our atmosphere is moving at 5 miles an hour. If we take this here handy-dandy flag and move it at 5 miles an hour along with this fan, this flag will not blow in this direction because it is moving along with the atmosphere at the same rate.
Yeah, that is pretty much a scaled-down version of this experiment, simulating windless conditions.
So the wind from the fan will not affect the flag. It'll just hang down, okay? I didn't draw that perfectly example, but it'll just droop straight down because of gravity, right? So if we move it along at 5 miles per hour along with the fan, there will be no effect on the flag. It'll just be like you're holding it still.
Contrary to popular belief, I don't like to repeat stuff. So how many times are you gonna repeat this shit?
So far, their globe atmosphere moving works just fine. Where the problem comes in is...
You're gonna say something silly, aren't you? Why am I even surprised?
As soon as we turn around to go the opposite way on the globe, if we're going 5 miles an hour this way and there's no effects, suddenly when we move back into the moving atmosphere of that fan, this flag will immediately start blowing the other way.
Huh, you actually didn't say what I think you were gonna say. Instead, we've got a simple misconception, because that 5 miles an hour represents a scaled down version of the 1037 miles an hour at full scale. So, moving back, as you said, means you'd have to surpass that speed. I mean, our entire experiment is moving at that 5 miles an hour to simulate windless conditions.
Every single time.
Well, since we're using a very simplified example with a fan that has limited options, you are indeed correct, but the wind doesn't always blow exactly from west to east, now does it? Wait, did I do that correct? Let's see here. Earth rotates eastward and as such the atmosphere, so the simulated wind would come from the west. Lovely.
It is measurable, verifiable, and repeatable.
Depending on weather conditions.
So, unless you globe proponents can show me the car, the train, or the plane that Earth is traveling in through the galaxy...
Well, that didn't make any sense whatsoever. Oh, hi.
Shut up with your planes, trains, and automobiles.
What? I've got nothing. He's not exactly making any sense. What with his planetary transport system? Is Earth gonna get a cab around the sun or some shit? Knowing those twits, Earth was gonna get ripped off with the cabbie taking all kinds of detours. Which would actually be bad news for us, regardless. Hey, don't look at me like that. He started talking nonsense, so I'm allowed.
When we do science, we can test the conditions of our outside world in the conditions of the outside world.
Depending on the weather conditions.
And every single solitary time, that fan will show you. You cannot walk the opposite direction of a moving atmosphere without feeling the force of it.
Well, I don't know about you, but I've yet to meet someone whose walking speed is well over 1037 miles per hour. Also, in your fancy experiment here, slowing down is where we start simulating moving back. All the way from 5 miles per hour moving with the fan to 5 miles per hour moving against the fan. Aye, wait just 1 minute here. Is this yet another example of them not understanding the scales involved or relative motion? This is another example of them not understanding the scales involved or relative motion, isn't it?
So until you can walk into the breeze of a fan without it affecting the flag or the streamers or the air pressure gauge you have?
Well, obviously we should always check our tire pressure when driving at speeds well over 1037 miles per hour, right?
Or the wind gauge, whatever, wind speed gauge.
Don't you worry, Pratt, I got you. Let's figure this shit out, shall we? Okay, Google, what device do we use to measure wind?
Anemometer, according to WeatherWizKids. A wind vane is an instrument that determines the direction from which the wind is blowing. An anemometer measures wind speed. The cups catch the wind, turning a dial attached to the instrument.
Okay, Google. Thanks, babe.
That makes me so happy. You're most welcome.
Well, what the hell? She has feelings? Also, there you have it, Pratt.
Then your moving atmosphere is bullshit.
I have to ask. Moving in relation to what exactly? Because it is becoming quite obvious you are overlooking something.
I can prove to you by moving that fan with the 5 mile an hour breeze, the flag with the 5 mile an hour breeze.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Nice save there.
Coming from that fan, as I'm moving with that atmosphere, you're absolutely right. It won't affect that flag until the very second I start moving in the opposite direction towards the fan.
Alright, Pratt, listen up. How fast do you want to move towards that fan? Because even at walking speed, which seems to be an average of 3.1 miles an hour, would convert to roughly 643 miles an hour at full scale. And that is still without adding the 5 miles an hour for moving with the fan, simulating windless conditions, to standing still. So that is a total converted speed of 1680 miles an hour. That's pretty fast.
I will then immediately get the full brunt of the 5 mile an hour breeze.
Well, no, not exactly. We've just established you only have to stand still to simulate receiving the full brunt. You don't seem to realize that standing still in our experiment translates to you moving against the atmosphere at the same speed. Why is this so hard to understand? Oh, never mind. I know why this is so hard to understand. For them.
And it will blow the fan in that, or the flag in that direction.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm no longer moving with that atmosphere. Thus, if I was on the equator As long as I'm moving with your moving atmosphere at 1,000 miles an hour, I'm fine. I won't feel a thing. The second I turn around and start to walk west, I would immediately be hit with 1,000 mile an hour wind.
No, Pratt, you will be hit with a 1,680 miles an hour wind. Or if you're gonna go at your 5 miles an hour, it would be 2,074 miles an hour wind. You know, something tells me he doesn't really quite get it. I can't really put my finger on it.
If you cannot realize that fact of reality...
Well, for you to understand the facts, you actually have to understand your kindergarten experiment. So, yeah, there's that. Although, to be fair, it went a little bit beyond kindergarten. Wait, might that be why we don't use kindergarten experiments for the slightly more complex subjects?
You're fucking insane.
Well, sir, at least I accept my insanity. But what does that make you if you cannot even understand the kindergarten experiment you came up with? I rest my case.
And the fact that you expect me to.
Yeah, right. I don't expect anything from you. Not after this, what should we call it? Expert levels of kindergarten science?
Means you must be fucking insane. Otherwise, again, do the experiment.
But this time with an understanding of what the experiment is all about. Right, Brett?
And prove me wrong with science.
I think I just did. Multiple times. Also, bye? Okay, bye.